You have to shout, it's not mic.
Okay, right. A lot of your policies are about reforming education, like say LSE 100. This doesn't involve input from you, but this involves input from the academics. And you're going to have to fight extremely hard to get them to see that, say, LSE 100 needs to be reformed or scrapped, because they have their own vision. So how do you propose you have the skills to win them over, or how are you going to do this?
Can you all give an example of a time where you campaigned for better education at the LSE?
I'm going to Nona. Well, I think by the ideas that we want to push forward, or I want to push forward, being realistic, because look, LSE, say for instance LSE 100, it's not going anywhere. That's a debate that's been and gone, it's not going to be optional. What we need to do is think about how to reform it for it to be in the students' best interests, and I think that could take two things. Organisation, not having exams before you, like second year students move back into halls if they're in halls, and having, say, more options within LSE 100, so you choose the kind of assessment or the specifics of what you study. So I think, if you have policies that are realistic, then the school is going to be more understanding and you can get more negotiation going. The second question was about...
an example of campaign for better education.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned in my speech before, I was one of the main organisers in the Freeze the Fees campaign the year before last, and obviously the fees did go up quite considerably, but we managed to have a collective pressure on the school body, and it saved the undergrads. Obviously they raised the fees again now, but for 2 years, we had students who were each saving £1,500 each. It was significant.
To answer the first question, just because it's impossible, I don't think it's unrealistic. And it's not that we're going to say to them, it's just, because it's an option, it's not to take it out completely. I think to have a reform, if you sit down with the academics and say to them, look, this is an interest for you as much as it is for the students. Because if you're putting students forward and saying to them, okay, you need to do well, obviously that's going to be a reflection of their teaching as well. So it's benefiting both sides, but it's the way that you engage with them and the way you communicate that can actually have some form of impact so that they might actually listen to you to some extent. For the second question, in terms of campaigning for education, I haven't been involved in very much. First semester I was running for postgraduate officer. Didn't get it because Sophie the Fantastic won. But I've been student rep in my postgraduate here, and so far we've actually done a lot of things in terms of trying to get more options in the cafeteria. We actually managed to get provisional results for our department, even though we couldn't have that because they said it was unacceptable to some extent, but now we've actually managed to get it through. So it's...
Time.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so in answer to your question about being realistic, I think my policies are very tangible and very much grounded on fact, having spoken to both students and teachers, and also I sit on the Undergraduate Consultative Forum where I discuss with the Dean of the undergraduate departments policies that are in the process of going through. So I know what is possible and I know what is completely implausible, and I think in that sense people can give you false promises. Secondly, examples of being involved in campaigning. I think in my first year I was quite involved with the Freeze the Fees campaign, not to the same extent, but as a member of the student body I learned quite a lot about what people wanted. And also on a more democratic structures, I think leading back from what I was saying about sitting on panels, actually this is a really effective way to make change, and change within the system is far more likely than change outside of the system, and the chances of scrapping things is so slim that we should work within and campaign from within, I believe.
Yeah, so I didn't mention LSE 100. I didn't have the benefit of doing an undergrad degree here, so I've never actually done it. So I'm very happy to listen to ideas. But I think the basic point is it's a false dichotomy to say, students here, lecturers there. I think the way to go about it is to have realistic demands around what we want for it. We've got an LSE 100 that 83% of employers say works for them. We need an LSE 100 that works for 83% of students. Now, the way to do it is not to propose scrapping it, making it optional. The school's not going to do this. We need to make the content of LSE 100 work for us, which means approaching them with realistic demands after comprehensive feedback from our students. As for education here, as I said, I've only been here about 9 months or so now, but the first time I ever came to LSE was when I was on the NUS demonstration in 2010, and we queued up on Houghton Street. Absolutely brilliant. But since I got here, I've been involved with the Defending Education campaign, which is the LSESU's priority campaign. I would intend to continue that campaign, keep it as a priority. I've been involved since I first arrived here with all the things that we go in that campaign, both national issues around which I spoke about, and the local issues around feedback, etc. I think that should continue to be a priority. I think we continue to need that campaign, make it student-led, make it student-run.
Alright, well, getting rid of LSE 100 isn't going to be easy. But it's going to be even tougher when you've got it, my friend Alex here. She thinks it's a great idea. She's on record saying it's a great idea. And none of the other candidates want to get rid of it. So if we elect people into the SU who are not even going to try to get rid of LSE 100, it's never going to happen. And let me say this. If we don't get rid of LSE 100 when I'm education officer, it's not going to be because of a lack of trying on my behalf, but because of a lack of listening on the school's behalf. Regarding Shine's question, I think education is, it's crucial, and in many ways, our student unions, sabbatical officers, they're too busy going off in far left protests, then staying in Hilton Hotel using our money to do anything with it, to do anything about education. That's why, when I'm elected, I'm going to stop this attack on capitalism, and I'm going to start attacking the challenges students face. And I've outlined it in my 5-point plan, and I hope I'll get you vote. Thank you.